After listening to all the facts in this episode, you'll be convinced that prophetic dreams didn't only come to Saint John Bosco while he slept, but also to those who knew him. In this story, Our Lady appears to a mother of a sick child and reveals how her son could be saved from death. The Miracles and Prophecies of Saint John Bosco, a project of America Needs Fatima. I'm your host, Matthew Miller. Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On Wednesday, December 1st, 1868, Don Bosco visited the Lenzo school, and at the Good Night talk, urged the boys to put their consciences in order because during that school year, one of them would be summoned to God's judgment seat. Privately, he confided to a superior that the boy who was to die was in the second grade, and that his name began with the letter V. One should note that Don Bosco had not yet met the new pupils. At the beginning of the Christmas novena, Don Bosco was called out of town, as we gather from a letter of Father Franchesia to Mother Magdalena Galeffi in Rome. Don Bosco was away, he wrote. Rumor has it, it may even be certain that the oratory has received an exceptional favor from the Madonna. I may not yet tell you what it is, but I'll let you know as soon as I know more. What was this exceptional favor? It may refer to the fact that Don Bosco had been asked to bless a critically ill child. Countess Kays, the wife of Count Louis, who was the son of the oratory's great benefactor, dreamed one night that her son Charles was seriously ill. She was deeply grieved, for this was her firstborn. In her dream, she sent for the family doctor and then paid a visit to the Church of Mary Help of Christians. Seemingly, she saw Our Lady in person, just as she is portrayed in the painting above the main altar. "Bring your most precious possession to my church," Our Lady told her, "and your child will recover." She immediately found herself once more at the side of her very sick child. "Mama, give me something to eat or I'll die of hunger," the little boy said. She fed him, and the boy recovered. That was her dream. But before we hear if this dream actually came to pass, I'd just like to say that if you'd like to enroll in our Saturday Mass intentions for the promoters of Saint John Bosco, just click on the link in the description below. Or you can wait till the end of the video and click on the logo that appears on the screen. It's a beautiful Mass said in the traditional Byzantine rite for all of your intentions. Now, you don't have to become a monthly donor to have a Mass prayed for you, but if you do, you could receive excellent books written by Saint John Bosco himself, like this one, Sacred History. And there are many other things that you could get as well, but you can read all about it if you click on the link. So please help me keep this channel ad-free and spread the message of Don Bosco far and wide. A few months later, after the Countess had almost forgotten her dream, her little boy began to feel weak and soon fell ill with typhoid fever. The family doctor was immediately summoned. He diagnosed the illness as very serious, but having other matters to attend to, he recommended an excellent young doctor from nearby Rivoli. The latter arrived and lived with them for a week, but the child's condition kept worsening. The Countess then remembered her dream, prayed, and vowed to offer her most costly bracelet to the Church of Mary Help of Christians. Shortly afterward, the child, who had been dozing fitfully and refusing nourishment, suddenly aroused himself. "Mama," he said, "give me some tea and cookies." Since he had never taken tea before, the Countess asked the doctor's advice. "Give him whatever he wants," the latter replied. "Nothing can make him any worse." The child drank the tea and had a few bites of cookies. From that moment, he began to improve, and in a few days was well again. The first time he joined his parents at the table, he brought along his mother's bracelet. "When shall we take it to the Madonna?" he asked. A few days later, the Countess and her child called on Don Bosco, who, on hearing the story, remarked, somewhat ironically, "Countess, don't give much credence to dreams." Count Louis Kays stated, "My wife had asked Don Bosco's blessing on our child. She was so happy at his recovery that, had Don Bosco requested 25,000 lire for the oratory, she would have obliged immediately. Don Bosco knew that asking would have been tantamount to receiving, and that I too would have consented, but he asked for nothing." Meanwhile, everyone at the oratory was awaiting the fulfillment of Don Bosco's prediction of November 10th. namely that a pupil would make the exercise for a happy death only one more time. The exercise was held on December 12th. A few days later, the student Paul Vachetta fell ill and died on December 21st. Besides the 3 predicted in the dream, 6 other pupils had died during that year. As December drew to a close, Don Bosco exchanged greetings with his principal benefactors. Among those thanking him for the prodigious effects of his blessing was the noble lady Christina Pator, who was renowned for her charity and piety. The Lord had tested her virtue with the premature deaths of several of her children. Widowed and with only one son, Joseph, still living, she feared that he too might encounter the fate of his brothers. She therefore called on Don Bosco to speak of her fears and beg his blessing on her son so that God might spare him. She had great hopes that he might become a priest, but Don Bosco smilingly told her, "Don't be afraid. Your son will live and will be a great comfort to you, but he will not become a priest." His prediction was fulfilled exactly as he had said. Joseph would grow in holiness and kept in contact with Don Bosco, but he never became a priest. However, the boy who had been cured in the previous story, Count Charles Kays, would grow up and be ordained a Salesian priest in 1878. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you'd like to enroll in our Saturday Mass intentions for the promoters of Saint John Bosco, just click on the link above me here. God bless you, and Our Lady keep you. Let's go, boy.